If you've ever had to abandon a training run because the pain in your shins just got too much to bear, then this is the video for you, because we're going to be looking at what's causing your shin splints and how to get rid of them for good. So shin splints will often come up when you're training for a race because you're running more, which means you're increasing your mileage, you're increasing the load on your body, particularly on your lower leg, and then this can aggravate all of the muscles around your shins. But what makes shin splints one of the worst running injuries is just how unpredictable they are, because you could feel absolutely fine going into a run, no aches, no pains, and then as soon as you start running, bang, they're back again. And if you're going into every training run worried about whether you're going to re-injure yourself, that is just a horrible place to be. You lose confidence in your own body, you start second guessing yourself. Long runs make you feel anxious. You don't know whether you should take a week off from the plan or whether that's going to make you fall behind and you're not going to be able to do the race. And all in all, it's just an absolutely terrible place to be. So we're going to look at what to do when you do get shin splints during your runs, and then we're going to go through the 3 S's to make sure that they don't come back again. I probably should have made a better abbreviation than the 3 S's for shin splints, but I'm a run coach, I'm not a wordsmith, so as long as it works, it's fine. But before we can look at how to get rid of them for good, we need to understand a little bit more about what shin splints are. So in simplest terms, shin splints are just when you're overloading the muscles in your lower leg around the shin bone. So we don't need to overcomplicate this, you don't need a degree in biology or anything, but we do need to understand sort of what's going on in the lower leg here. So if we look at from the knee down to the ankle, you've got a series of muscles and tendons which are all running down your leg and attaching to the foot. And what they're doing is every time you move your foot in any way, all of these different muscles are going to be working to some degree. So you've got the calf muscles running down the back of your leg, coming all the way down into your Achilles tendon, down behind the heel. And then you've got a big band of muscle that runs along the front of your shin, down alongside the shin bone, again, down into the front of your ankle. So I want you to just do a quick practical experiment with me here. If you lift one of your legs up so that it's unsupported, and then you grab your hand and just gently grip your lower leg, so just below your calf muscles, but above your ankle. Now keep your hand around your lower leg here, but lift your foot so that your toes are coming towards your leg, like this. And then just gently push them away again as well. And what I want you to look for is feel which muscles are moving underneath your hand when you move your foot up and down. Because what you'll notice is if you lift your toes up towards your leg, the muscle down the front of your calf and going in the front of your ankle, that's going to be flexing and contracting. But when you push it away again, that muscle is going to relax, and the muscles along the back, just above your Achilles, are going to flex and tighten. And you can do this side to side as well, but what you're going to notice is that whatever movement you make with your ankle, there's some degree of muscles being worked around your ankle, around your lower legs, and around your shins. Now let's think about those movements in terms of your running. So if you think every time you take a step and your foot lands, say your foot lands on the ground, as soon as you're transferring the weight forwards, your knee is coming forwards over your ankle. And this is creating exactly the same motion as pulling your ankle up towards your legs, right? This is called dorsiflexion. So every time your foot lands, your knee comes over, and these muscles down the front of your legs are going to be working to catch your body weight and push you forwards. And once your foot's landed, you've absorbed the impact, your weight's gone forwards, you reach the push-off phase of your stride, which is then when your ankle pushes off against the ground and drives you forward. And that's the stride that propels you forwards. Foot lands, the muscles on the front of your shin absorb the impact, your knee comes forward, your weight comes forward, and you push off, at which point you're squeezing your calf muscles and you drive off of the ground to stride forwards. And to keep your ankle stable, all of these muscles around your lower leg, around the shins, are going to be working together. So the second that there's any kind of weakness in these lower leg muscles and they're getting overworked or overstretched, that's what's going to cause your shin splints. And to make things even worse, these muscles connect to something in your shin called periosteum, which connects to the bone, which has a ton of nerve endings in it, which is what makes it even more painful than most muscle-related running injuries. Okay, so we know the basic anatomy of what's causing the shin splints, so what should you do if you encounter them during a run? Now, the number one most important thing is do not run through shin splints. They're not like other injuries. If you keep going, you're going to risk making the pain worse, giving yourself a longer lasting injury, or even worst case, a stress fracture. And if you get a stress fracture, you're not going to be able to run for ages and you're going to be very grumpy. What you need to do instead is ease off your run, cut it short if you need to, rest, recover, stretch the muscles out, use a foam roller if you've got one, and then we can figure out using the 3 S's exactly how to stop them from coming back again. So the first way that we can prevent shin splints from happening is by making sure that we've got the right shoes. Because one mistake that I see every single runner make is they will buy a pair of shoes off the internet, sight unseen, without knowing if it's the right fit for them because they like how it looks or someone on social media said nice things about it, and then you're just running in the wrong shoes, and that's aggravating all of the muscles around your shins. Let's use an example. I've got two very popular shoes here. We've got the Adidas Evo SLs, and then we've got the Asics Superblast 2s. Now these are both very popular shoes, but they have a massive difference. Let's take a look at the soles of each of the shoes. So if we look at the Evo SLs, look at the bottom here. Look how much this tapers inwards around the midfoot. Look how much more support you're getting from the width of the Superblast 2 here. Now when the midfoot of a shoe is narrower like this, you're getting less support on the inside and the arch of your foot, and every time your foot lands, your ankle is more likely to cave inwards unless you've got the strength to keep it planted. So you can see an example here where I'm running in both shoes. When my foot's landing on the Evo SL, it's very soft foam, there's not as much support in the midfoot, it's more likely to cave inwards a little bit than in the Superblast where it's much more supported. So over time, this is going to work those lower leg muscles, particularly the shin muscles and your tibialis posterior, which runs along the inside of your shin down over the ankle. This is going to get worked much harder in the Evo SL, which is why I wouldn't wear them for longer runs. Whereas on the Superblast 2, they're getting worked a lot less, and you're not going to feel that same level of aggravation or inflammation after a longer run. So if you're running and you're noticing a dull ache on the inside of your shin muscles, then it could be as easy as just switching out your shoes for a more supportive pair with a wider base. Now the second S that we want to look at is the structure of your training. Has your mileage increased suddenly in the last few weeks? Because if you were running 10 to 20 kilometers a week, and then you sign up for a marathon, you start following a plan someone's given you, suddenly you're running 40 or 50 kilometers a week, that is going to put so much extra stress on your body, and particularly your lower leg muscles. They're going to seize up, they're going to cramp, they're going to pull on the periosteum attached to your bone, the nerve endings, and it's just going to be a bad time. And if that's the case, then what we need to do is increase your mileage more gradually so that you can build up to consistent high mileage weeks and replace some of that running with something that is lower or zero impact. So instead of doing 4 runs a week, you might do 3 runs a week and 1 cycling session, or using the cross trainer. Something that isn't stressing those muscles with the impact of your foot landing the whole time. Now finally, and most importantly, S number 3, you need to be doing some kind of strength work. And I don't mean going into the gym and banging out a chest press, spending all your time in the free weight section. I mean preparing your body for the impact on your legs that comes with running for extended periods of time. Things like jumps and skips and throws, they're the things that are going to prepare your body for the impact of landing and absorbing your body weight with every stride. And that's going to help prepare your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, and it's just going to reduce the chances of getting injured. The 2 exercises I'll always give my runners who struggle with shin splints are the drop jump and the seated jump, because these are the 2 exercises that best simulate the impact of landing whilst you're running. So just to summarize quickly, if we want to get rid of shin splints, we need to address the 3 S's. We've got the shoes, we've got the structure of your training, and we've got strength work. And it could be one or more of these things, so you might need to do a little bit of experimentation. But if you stick with it, if you train smart and you're prepared to be patient, then soon shin splints are going to be a thing of the past. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to run faster and further with no injuries, and I will see you in the next video.